This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I'm one of the hosts, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael5Ritter. And also one of the hosts of the Football Function podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms, including the one that you're listening to this show on. Joining me on today's episode, my humble co-host, John Carrasco. You can find him on Twitter at Big Speaker. That's BIGG_Speaker. John, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man, and I'm definitely not liking this freaking cold weather that we're having right now. Definitely a damper on the week and everything like that.
Yeah, cold is putting it mildly.
So, yeah, it's definitely like a, I guess you could say a damper, but it's Friday. We're here reviewing the SmackDown review and everything like that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and knock this baby out.
See, for me, 40 degrees is too cold. You know, I'm cold-blooded, you know, which means, like, I'm already cold. You know, I'm naturally cold. My default setting is cold. So whenever the actual cold weather hits me, it kind of just, feels a little bit more cold than it might to somebody else. Like, I've been at a football game in Cleveland, right there off Lake Erie, First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, obviously for the Cleveland Browns. And I was there watching the Falcons play. The Falcons are obviously a dome stadium team, play in the South in Georgia. And let's just say our fans aren't really used to that type of weather, So I was in the stands, literally hands inside my hoodie, like a hoodie pulled up over my face, just shivering.
Like
meanwhile,
Kenny, huh?
Meanwhile, yes, 9-year-old girl sitting right next to me, taking the weather like a champ, just, enjoying the game, enjoying the atmosphere. And that's when I realized that people up north, the Northeast, Ohio, all those states, once you get to like the actual eastern states, Pennsylvania, New York, all those New England states over there, you know what I'm talking about. The East Coast states, it gets pretty chilly. We've dealt with a little bit of that here over the past few days, and I guess the better part of a week. Where we are here in the Texas Panhandle, it's been 0 degrees, -1 degree. It was not fun just going from point A to point B. Anytime you have to get out in this stuff. So
The thing that was crazy to me is like the whole West Coast was the like sunny days over there, Like you saw on the little weather radar and everything like that. Like
it's a big
freezing
world, man.
temperatures all the way like Nevada, I guess you could say, and then like cuts off like right at California or whatever. And I was just like, what the heck? But yeah, it has been a sorry 2 days, I guess you could say. We did get an extra long weekend for being off work and everything like that. So that was a big plus right there. But definitely can't say I'm not enjoying it. Got to enjoy a little bit of wrestling. Of course, football on Thursday. So that was a good dub right there. But other than that, man, I guess we're here. But I do got to ask, who'd you pick on Thursday?
Jaguars.
Okay.
Jaguars. Got to make sure I pronounce that correctly. I do realize if you say Jaguars, you are a stooge, apparently. I was pointed out. I was in the stooge category. So.
Trevor Lawrence looks good, man.
Oh.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Literally and figuratively.
Oh, yeah.
Handsome fella. But,
oh, my gosh.
Hey,
Trying to go to, remember the Titans right there, huh?
No, it's, a handsome guy. I'm not saying no sunshine or anything like that. He's the face of the Jaguars, and they're probably proud of that. But anyways, this is a wrestling podcast, so we'll go ahead and get back to the squared circle here and stuff that happened. We're here to cover SmackDown like usual. The SmackDown that aired, it wasn't recorded on this day, but it aired on December 23rd, 2022, which I'm actually appreciative of, just given that knowing that they're taking the time to spend with some family or just off, whatever it is that they're doing, not at work, for a holiday, So shout out to WWE for making this possible to record an episode, pre-tape it, and then air it the following week, and it'd still be a pretty decent episode. You know, I mean, had you not told me this, or had I not known, like if I was still 10 years old and you could easily fool me with this type of stuff, I would have been like, damn, that was a damn good SmackDown Live, whatever. They didn't reference any city, so it was pretty. It was a pretty good episode, I will say. But it starts off with the Bloodline, and that's a pretty damn good way to start any show. But I'll let you go ahead and take us through this opening segment.
Well, like you said, I mean, of course, it starts with the Bloodline, and of course, they do their normal entrance and everything like that. Paul Heyman, he basically starts this off. You know, he's giving the flowers to the Usos, saying that, of course, the Bloodline is the greatest faction and everything like that. And, of course, announcing the match between Usos and the
Hit Row.
Hit Row, yeah. And then also announcing the Solo versus Sheamus match, you know, so that's kind of exciting. But I don't know, Paul Heyman, he's just giving like the little spoiler and everything like that. So I guess we're already like looking forward to a Uso win here. But then Roman takes over. You know, he's basically saying that he's going to smash John Cena and Kevin Owens next week whenever they come to their match and everything like that. But he looks over to Sammy, and he looks like he's kind of concerned, maybe a little bit worried, you know. So he kind of asks him what's going on. So Sammy, he kind of just starts to go off saying that, you know, he feels finally welcomed being a part of the Bloodline and everything like that. So he has this, like, dark cloud hanging over him, I guess you could say, still being Kevin Owens. And then, of course, he enjoys, like, all these chants where Sammy chants that he gets, you know,
in every
city and stuff like that. So he's looking over at Jimmy and Jay, you know, trying to get them to, I guess, agree with them. You know,
yeah.
They kind of give him some head nods and everything like that. But
their approval, you know, he's basically looking at them, trying to get their stamp of approval. You could say,
yeah. Oh yeah. But then he goes to say, of course, that next week, I mean, he's gonna try and like bury like the whole situation with him and Sammy, or him and Kevin Owens going on and stuff like that, to kind of just I guess show the Bloodline that he's really with them. You know, I mean,
and of all people, John Cena. I thought that was a pretty funny line. Just him referencing that, you know. Just of all people, John Cena. Well, John, I don't know where the hell you've been, or if you're even watching this or whatever. But I don't really care, because we're gonna kick your ass, pretty much. For lack of a better word, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, and then of course, like, he's just trying. I mean, I guess you could say just trying to get that loyalty across to him again. I mean, we had this little situation with the Survivor Series. You know, we got Jay's approval, you know, that was like the biggest hurdle of them all.
Exactly.
And now it seems like we're we're backstepping, you know. Now we got red flags from like Jimmy now, so it's kind of just getting a little confusing to me at this point. So I mean, of course, we got to see what's going to go on next week. So from here on, I guess you could say we're just with question marks.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for that loyalty to be questioned, or I guess for the Usos or the Bloodline as a whole to kind of backtrack a little bit, and I guess not be so fond of the idea of Sami Zayn joining their family as an official Us, not an honorary Us. That's kind of where they're at now, is dropping that honorary little title there and just making him officially Sami Uso. And I think we will get there at some point. But this segment does continue with a tag team match, the one that you were just talking about, for those. See, that's the thing. I was trying to listen closely to see what it was announced as, like with the ring announcer, but I know that in their little WWE digital exclusive that they have that they showed as they were, you know, coming to the arena, Hit Row, that is, them basically saying that they're going to, you know, win the titles and all that stuff. They specifically said SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which tells me, are those Tag Team Championships unified, like officially?
Oh yeah.
So they're the undisputed Tag Team Champions. So they can't go after just one or the other. They can't go after SmackDown or Raw. It would be both of them.
I wouldn't assume so, just because like whenever like Samantha Irvin, she announces them, she calls them the undisputed. You know.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Top Dollar to misspeak right there and call it something whenever he should have said undisputed. 'Cause that's what made me question it. I thought I was on the same page. I thought that it was undisputed as well. But seeing that kind of made me question, I guess. But, yeah, we do get this tag team match. Hit Row is pretty much dominated by the Usos for a majority of it. Didn't really expect anything different. They do finish this match with a 1D, the defending champs do, so they retain their tag team championships. And Hit Row is, I mean, I don't personally feel like they were much of a threat at all, and they prove us right. I mean, we were all over this last week. Whenever we had Charlie on the show with us, we basically talked about the fact that, I mean, you could bet the house on the Usos winning. It wasn't, breaking news or going out on a limb or anything like that, but we were pretty confident in the fact that they weren't ready at all, and I guess, we were proven in this specific scenario that we were accurate in those predictions.
Oh, yeah. On this one, man, the only thing that really stuck out to me was just, like, I wouldn't even call it, like, a botch, I guess you could say, but, like, whenever Top Dollar, he was going to do that double slam, and he just kind of caught Jay, like, his leg wrong or something.
Yes.
And it just seemed like they were slipping, and then kind of just, like, dropped him, kind of blamed it on the knee, trying to play it off and stuff like that.
Blaming that knee?
But, I mean, that's twice in a row, I mean, of course, you do the flip or jump out the ring type stuff and botch that. I mean, of course, that's kind of a questionable thing right there. But then this is like your move, this is your signature move, and you still can't get that right. So that's where it's kind of becoming like a performance issue to me now.
Yeah, it's not necessarily polished, is what you could say.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, Ashante, he seems like he takes bumps pretty well, though.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been practicing those whole things, just being in his whole in-ring, I guess.
Out of the entire group, he's the one that I wouldn't mind giving him something else to do. Seeing if he can't thrive in another, specific gimmick, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Just give him something else to do, a different persona, and I think maybe he might thrive, because I just personally feel like Hit Row is a sinking ship, and we'll see how long it ends up lasting. But
I was just going to say that, and I kind of feel like B-Fab is, I mean, even though she's not the one that's included in all this, like, mostly, but she's the one that's kind of, like, got the charisma for him, I kind of feel like the other two are just kind of putting a damper on the whole gimmick.
Maybe it would be best for all three of them to do something different, I mean, the specific pairing just might not be what they thought it was going to be. Like, if you put B-Fab with somebody like, I don't know, like, who needs a manager that's not, like, really sharp on the mic? Like, obviously Bobby Lashley comes to mind, but I do think Hurt Business is starting to kind of maybe come back together at some point down the line.
I was going to say Cedric Alexander and Ashante kind of remind me of the
honestly, B-Fab could be a nice little addition to the Hurt Business. Just do a little heel turn on that group, say, no, you guys are clearly not going anywhere. This is the group to go. And, jump over to Monday Night Raw. Just completely, I don't know. That just seems like something that could possibly have a little bit of a better outcome for her than hitching herself to this wagon specifically. But if you're good, I'm ready to move on to this gauntlet match here for the number one contenders opportunity at Ronda Rousey SmackDown Women's Championship. It starts off with Emma and Xia Li, where Xia Li gets off to a pretty dominant start here. She wins and pins Emma pretty viciously, puts her knee on her head, and then out comes Tegan Nox, and she gets quickly put down and pinned aggressively as well, the same knee on the head technique. And then here comes the brutal, battered Raquel Rodriguez, who we weren't sure if her availability was going to come into effect here. We weren't sure if her arm was going to be too big of a factor to stop her from competing in this match. She comes out there looking like J.J. Watt with the arm brace.
Yeah.
She puts a stop to Xia Li's dominance, and then Liv Morgan comes out. She's the next entrant, and her and Raquel have probably the longest bout of this entire gauntlet match. You see Liv and Raquel kind of go back and forth, a little bit of a babyface versus babyface matchup. Liv apologizes to her before she does some damage to that arm. Did you catch that when she says, sorry, Raquel, and she jumps on her arm? Yeah, pretty much just apologizing to her. But Liv really doesn't have enough to defeat an even injured Raquel Rodriguez. And then out comes the final entrant, Sonya Deville, and even she is no match for Raquel, who was destined to win tonight. But after she defeats Sonya, Ronda Rousey's music hits immediately. Not even Raquel's music, so she can celebrate, and then about 5 seconds later, then Ronda's music hits. You would have thought Ronda's theme song was Raquel's theme song, because as soon as the bell rings, we hear Ronda Rousey's music hit, and she just comes out and she informs Raquel that she should not be celebrating just yet. There's still one more person that she has to beat And that person's Shayna Baszler, who comes to
BS right there.
yeah, she comes to the ring, and I was thinking immediately, I was okay, if she wins this, which right there, and in that moment, she was the odds-on favorite, healthy, fresh. Raquel had just gone through like 3 people, if you count Xia Li, Liv Morgan, and Sonya Deville. So clearly she was tired. Sonya Deville goes out there, she starts fast, she gets right on her, hits her with some knees to the face, starts going after her arm brace in like a cocky manner, takes it off of her and lifts it up, starts showboating, leaving herself vulnerable to a roll-up, and that's exactly what Raquel does. Rolls her up and earns herself a spot and an opportunity at Ronda Rousey's championship. Is that next week?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is on the September 30th edition. Okay. Wasn't sure if they're going to try to hold that off for the Royal Rumble. I kind of wish they would allow, storyline-wise, Raquel's arm to heal. Let it be more of an even matchup, because I think Raquel does have an opportunity to dethrone Ronda, especially if it's an even one-on-one matchup. I would pay to see it. I would be all over that. So it would be cool for us to see that at the Royal Rumble. Who knows? This could be the start of the program. Shayna Baszler could have something to do with it. It's not a clean finish. Adam Pearce comes out and says, no, we're going to give Raquel a rematch at the Royal Rumble. That would be badass. We'll see kind of what happens there, but something tells me that this isn't the end of, Shayna Baszler sticking her nose in this little SmackDown Women's Championship picture. I think that her getting eliminated and basically humiliated, there's no reason why she should have lost that. Coming out being extremely fresh, not tired whatsoever. She had the advantage, but she doesn't take advantage of it. And she allows Raquel to get the win, so we'll see if she interferes next week to help out Ronda Rousey. But what were your thoughts on this Gauntlet match? Tegan Nox obviously tries to get some redemption, some revenge on Xia Li for that hooded BS that happened last week. We see Liv Morgan come out and do a little bit of stuff, even though I really wasn't too intrigued with her winning. We've already seen her and Ronda Rousey in that dynamic in multiple pay-per-views. We don't need to see it again. So Raquel was the clear winner, but what were your thoughts on this whole program?
Well, from start to finish, I kind of felt like, with Emma, it kind of felt like it started off kind of slow for her, and then it kind of seems like she got into that little rhythm of being up to pace, I guess you could say. And then, of course, Xia Li, she gets the win. And then Tegan, she comes out with some intensity, I guess you could say, got some good energy. So that was good to see. It kind of sucks that, of course, they got put out pretty early, being that they're new and everything like that. But from the beginning of this, I kind of thought Xia Li was going to be like more of the person that was going to win, I guess you could say. Of course, Raquel, she has like the feud going on with Ronda, but the injured arm was kind of the question for me on that matchup right there. But the only thing that got to me is like, what's next for Xia Li after that little situation with Tegan Nox? It kind of seems like it just kind of died right there. There
Damage
wasn't,
control.
No freaking altercation or anything, no words back and forth. So it kind of just seems like it kind of hit that stalemate for me at that point. But Liv Morgan, DJ Kuzma, he kind of pointed it out that she's kind of getting some submissions in her game, I guess you could say. So kind of noticed that, I don't know exactly what move she had put Raquel in whenever she had both her arms behind her back.
She hit her on the shoulder a couple times.
I was
Hey, is she not tapping out there? What's going on?
But yeah, that was kind of cool to see. But of course, we got the storyline coming from Raquel and Ronda, so that's something that I'm going to be definitely interested in long run.
Yeah, and you asked kind of what's next for Xia Li. I think we'll find out in January. I think that the build-up to, obviously, January 28th, that's the next PLE.
The only thing that gets me is, she doesn't get no crowd reaction, It's whenever she does that little Mortal Kombat entrance and everything like that, it seems like it kind of just, throws everything off, Maybe she can kind of switch that up a little bit, because, they even cut to, rewinds, or I guess you could say recaps of or stuff that's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of SmackDown is brought to you by.
And you can hear her over there doing the little yells and everything in the background.
Yeah, in the background.
Yeah, man. So it has its little sour twist to it and everything like that. But I think if she kind of revamped that in a way, I think the crowd would kind of get behind her a little bit more. At least I would. Yeah,
I think you're onto something there. I am curious to hear what you have about this next segment, though. The Bray Wyatt coming out, and he's very serious with the crowd. He's trying to be up front with them. He said it's very hard for him to, even still to this day, it's hard for him to understand people wanting to see him and cheer for him and just basically be thrilled at the thought of him showing up to an event and, pay money to actually see him. So all this is kind of surreal to him. And he begins to kind of talk about Uncle Howdy. That's kind of where I got, or what I was picking up. And that's whenever he started to kind of lose his train of thought. He was just like started squatting down. Looked like he just completely lost it. And then out of nowhere, just attacked the cameraman.
I know.
Mandible claw.
Crazy, yeah.
Like, what the hell did you take away from this? Like, I'm just curious to talk to somebody else about it.
The only thing that gets me is, like, just the way the dude, like, he just snaps, like, right then, like, too fast. Like, you can't even really, like, get time to digest what he's going to do. He just breaks down and kind of jumps into, like, another personality. That's what kind of gets me about it, is that he even asked the crowd if they thought he was him, and he was like, come on, I know y'all really thought it was me, And, of course, I'm still on this little side that maybe he just had somebody, like, dress up in that Uncle Howdy suit and maybe just playing some mind games with this, It's just, I don't get what's making him crack. I don't get what's making Alexa Bliss crack, Like, it has to be something that we're missing. I mean, of course, whenever you see that little butterfly or bee symbol pop up, I mean, maybe that's what it is, but I didn't see nothing to make Bray Wyatt just kind of, like, stop his words and just react like that, I guess you could say. So, I mean, right now I'm confused. I can't say that I can, like, point to exactly where I'm thinking about this or what's going to happen, but I am ready to see if LA Knight is going to issue that apology that he says that he deserves. So that's going to be an interesting part to me, but right now, yeah, I'm just confused on
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Hey, man, you never know. He scares the living crap out of that guy,
Yeah, true. I don't know. I feel like LA Knight probably is going to lean towards the no side when it comes to apologizing. But I'm hoping that we get this match at the Royal Rumble. Like, we have to, Like, this is too big for SmackDown. Mm-hmm. It's been going on for so long. Like, it needs to be settled at an actual
that it's happening here, though,
Oh,
definitely makes the show, like, a lot more interesting to see every week, So definitely keep doing what they're doing on that end of it.
100%. Got to have it on the A show. But let's go ahead and transition into another segment here. Angel Garza versus Rey Mysterio. Scarlett and Karrion Kross are standing in the crowd, kind of just, off in the, what is it, the middle section, I guess. What do they call that? Mezzanine or something like that? I don't know exactly what they call it. Something something along those lines. I've looked at a lot of tickets on a lot of ticket buying apps, and those are there's a section they call it something else. But either way, that's a topic for another day or whatever.
Gotcha.
But they're in the middle section, off to the distance with the spotlight on them, so Ray can definitely see them. Doesn't really stop him from getting the win here. Obviously, he's going to beat Angel Garza. There's no surprise. Per usual, 619 and do a little bit of a DDT to secure the win. But then he kind of looks off into the crowd and, just says, hey, bring it on. Come in. Like, probably wouldn't have ended well for him if Karrion would have actually came to the ring. That just something tells me that fresh off of a match and not an actual sanctioned match setting where Karrion Kross could, grab a kendo stick or a steel chair, go in the ring and really use that killer instinct that he has and brutalize Rey Mysterio. Luckily, that didn't happen. But I don't really feel like there's a whole lot about the actual match unless you have anything on it. The main stuff was after this, the backstage encounter that Emma had, and I will say she called him Riddick Moss. That was another thing I wrote down. She said called Riddick a loser or whatever it was, a fool. Something along those lines. But yeah, we get Emma and Scarlett facing off just face to face, and she gives her a good old-fashioned slap. Just slaps the taste right out of her mouth. Karrion Kross makes sure to say that she's going to regret doing that. She has no idea what she just did. But I do believe that is the little seed being planted for Scarlett, making her in-ring debut on the actual, televised segment. I know she's been wrestling live events. She's been actually getting in the ring, on house shows, trying to get her feet wet, get in ring shape, just want to go on TV after not wrestling in several months or years or however long it's been. But make no mistake about it, she is going to appear on a televised program, probably with Emma. We're going to see her in the ring. And I've seen some independent Scarlett whenever she was wrestling on the indie scene. She's got some talent. She's better than some wrestlers we've seen. We'll just say that. We don't have to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that, but she's better than some female wrestlers that we've seen come through those doors. But I did think this was a pretty interesting segment. What did you think of the little backstage encounter?
Oh yeah, definitely that slap and everything like that was like the eyebrow raiser. It was kind of cool to, I guess, hear the Riddick Moss. It kind of threw me off whenever she said that. Of course, I was waiting for the Madcap, but maybe they're gonna try and transition back to that.
He's Riddick,
So yeah,
that was the transition right there.
Got you. So yeah, maybe we're gonna have to get used to that again. But other than that, man, of course, like the whole situation with them. Of course, like you were saying, seeing like the house shows. I mean, it looks like Scarlett. She's almost about that at that point to kind of jump back in the ring and everything like that. So that's gonna be exciting. But the Karrion Kross and the Rey Mysterio thing, it kind of seems like it's gonna just kind of like where are we actually at in it, because we got a whole little situation happening over here, but then again, you got a big story happening over here. So I'm kind of curious about which direction it's going to lead and, of course, what the whole outcome of all this is going to be.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is all kind of just a little bit of like what this episode was, because next week you don't have to preview anything. It's loaded with matches, with pretty premiere and big time matches to draw ratings and stuff. So this episode of SmackDown being what it is, which was taped, an episode that wasn't a live show or anything like that. This was a tread water episode. As good as it was, that's what its purpose was to get us from last week to next week. So they're going to give you a little bit of a preview as to what you can expect in January, a little bit more of I guess just teasers, so to speak. But
it is crazy that we're at the end of this year, man. It seems like it just blew by way too fast, I guess you could say, in just blink of an eye.
Yes, I mean,
January's here.
This year was wild, man. It really was. Just, you could just keep it wrestling related, going to WrestleMania. I mean, that was a crazy experience all the way from the night before where I had to stop our preview show to go throw up and you had to finish by yourself.
Oh, man, that was a freaking,
to having not so ideal WrestleMania trip. The WrestleMania itself was badass. The 2-night event, getting a chance to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, anytime I see like highlights from WrestleMania 38 or see photos from WrestleMania 38, like I could get emotional about it, and like not like start crying or anything like that, but actually get like sentimental, like man, like that was really like a really good time, a really good experience in my life, and so that happening in 2022 set it off, just separated this year from a completely, any other wrestling year. And then obviously whenever they came here to Amarillo for the Superstar Experience,
yeah. That was tight.
That was another one, man. But even just like calendar year wise, I met Jeff Hardy last year. That was just dope as hell, man. Like there's so many good things that have happened here in like the wrestling world, and like it's pretty dope, Royal Rumble. Yeah. That's gonna be another I guess badge
start to it.
Another badge on the old, Boy Scout thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wasn't in Boy Scout, so I don't know what the terminology is. What you put your badges on whenever you do get your badges, like your campfire badge, your tie a knot badge, your honesty badge, or something. I don't know. I imagine it's something along those lines, though. But I forgot what the hell I was even talking about. But either way, Royal Rumble.
Just adding it to
your
your
it's going to be another badge. Yeah,
say.
Another vest. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, another badge, the Royal Rumble here in San Antonio. But anyways, back to 2022, where we are, now that we've acknowledged how crazy it is that the year is winding up.
Yeah.
We do have a main event here to talk about. A street fight, Miracle on 34th Street fight with Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Physical as hell, like you would expect, like weapons everywhere. A kendo stick that would look like a candy cane.
Just the little being wrapped up gave it the little holiday spirit, and then to see it like crack over. Who did he hit with it?
Braun Strowman hit with it, or who did
Ludwig?
He hit Ricochet when he was on the ground.
Yeah. After just seeing that, it was just kind of Gave it its little holiday cheer, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and then obviously the tables that were decorated with all the Christmas stuff. Excuse me. Up to the top of the stage, there were Christmas trees with presents and massive presents with doors that apparently had people inside of them, which I had no idea. But I think there's only really one big takeaway from this match in terms of the actual action. I'm pretty sure you saw it when Braun Strowman just landed that shot on Giovanni and split him open.
What was that from that hit?
Yes.
Right there?
I saw it happen live. Like, I saw the hit happen live. I was okay. Like, I understand there's a way to work those punches to where it's not an actual closed fist and you can hit him, like, towards the ear area, like, to where it's not like you actually punch him in the face, but towards the angle that the camera is working. It looks like a legitimate punch, but this one was a legitimate shot.
Yeah.
And he split his face open, dude, right up there. And he was just Giovanni. Was just bleeding everywhere, man. And it was tough to look at because you knew exactly how it happened, and he had some specific stuff that he had to do, like whenever that ballerina left one of the doors, and then the New Day come out when they start marching or whatever.
Funny, honestly.
And he had to, like, kick him in the shin or the nuts or whatever happened there. But either way, Giovanni had to go along with that. And I was, like, telling Caleb as it was going on, like, this is crazy that, like, to split your face open, to need stitches, and have to go through with this, like, to act like you just got kicked or whatever. Like, that was pretty crazy to actually see happen there. But then, in the same match, Ricochet gets the back of his head split open with that steel chair. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's whenever he was on the apron about to, like, go in the ring to attack Giovanni. Ludwig comes from behind and hits him in the chair, but he gets him, like, in the back of the head, and, yeah, dude, it splits him open. If you were to go back and watch that, like, whenever he does the kiss to Samantha Irvin here in a little bit, he, like, you could see the back of his head. It's split open, and, like, Caleb's actually the one who caught it. Like, he's like, "Ooh, man, that got him in the back of the head because it split him open." But
I did not notice that. I thought that was maybe, like, some, like, being rubbed off on or from Giovanni or something like that. But I didn't notice he had actually got busted open.
yeah, but he needs something, man. He needs his spinach. Like, if he was Popeye, he would need some type of spinach. He needs his vitamins. He needs something to give him that boost to allow him to go in the ring and finish this match. Now, if only there was something or someone in the area that could give him that boost. If only there was something that Ricochet could bounce off of, no pun intended, to, you know, springboard his way back into this match and secure the win here on the eve of Christmas Eve. But luckily for him, that is just the case. His beautiful fiance or girlfriend, whatever the situation is, Samantha Irvin, gives him a little smooch. She gives him a nice little kiss that gives him that energy boost to skyrocket him right back up. You see his energy just go through the roof. He turns into 1980 Hulk Hogan. He gets in the ring and he's just going absolute crazy, you know, just bouncing all over the place. Actually gets on Braun Strowman's shoulders to hit a little bit of a splash and secure the win, and they get it done. That is how SmackDown goes off the air, with Braun Strowman and Ricochet getting the win here. What were your thoughts on the main event?
Well, this one, I mean, just the whole extraness in this, I guess, kind of made the match for me. You know, like them opening the presents, and then of course like the ballerina coming out. Like, whenever that happened, I was just kind of like, what the heck is going on? You know, like, we're gonna pause. We're gonna actually just waste time to watch this chick just, you know, do circles on the stage and everything like that. And then, of course, I mean, once they got to the New Day's door, I mean, that was definitely funnier for me. So it kind of just made me forget about that part of it. But the whole kick to the nads and everything like that, that was funny. And then, of course, Xavier Woods and Kofi, man, having to keep that straight face doing all that at the same time, you know, I mean, I definitely bet that was hard, you know, just because, I don't know, it was just so comical to me, I guess you could say. So it was definitely like a good little add to it. But, of course, you know, the getting busted open, Giovanni, that was freaking crazy. Like, once I saw the ref start putting on the gloves, I was like, okay, yeah, this is some real deal stuff right now. And I don't know, man, it just kind of gives it that old school vibe, you know. I mean, I don't know if it was actually like something that was meant to happen on purpose or anything like that. No. But, you know, it just gives it that old school vibe. So I'm definitely cool with that. But, yeah, I mean, for it to end like this, I guess you get like the little Christmas spirit and everything like that. So, I mean, it was a good match, but I do like the pairing between Ricochet and Braun Strowman.
Ball brothers.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Like,
Ball brotherhood.
Yeah.
But
I think that's pretty good, man.
Yeah, it was
Especially,
a pretty good pairing, I will say.
Like, if they get to like doing some little teamwork, you know, like how he threw him, like the I don't know what it was.
Their little double pinfall thing was weird, but yeah, they can definitely get some moves together.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely make a good tag team if they're actually to
no doubt.
put something into it.
No
I guess
doubt.
you could say.
But that does do it for us here on this holly jolly edition of the SmackDown Review. It was our pleasure coming to you guys on the eve of Christmas Eve to deliver a nice little episode here. I have a nice pint of eggnog downstairs.
Eggnog, huh? Dang.
I take a gulp or two here and there. I'm not going to drink it like crazy. Not going to pour any into a cup or anything like that. Like, it's legitimately, it's one little bottle. It's only a pint, not a whole lot. It's not a full carton or that half gallon or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and no one else drinks it. Like, I'm the only one that drinks it here. So I will just simply take it out of the fridge, drink it, put it right back in the fridge, put the lid back on. Sue me. Like I said, no one else drinks it. It's mine. But yeah, so I like to make it last, the week, the week of Christmas if I can, But yeah, I took a few gulps of it this morning before trying to do some shopping. Not the best idea, I will say. I took a huge swig of it and immediately left. And as I was driving, I was like, man, who'd have thought taking 3 massive gulps of eggnog right before you go Christmas shopping? Not a great idea. But yeah, so I'm definitely probably going to enjoy that a little bit tonight. Might take some melatonin just to ensure a good night's sleep. Got a lot of football games to cover tomorrow. If you are a football function fan, we're going to be recording the Week 16 review show on Monday, giving my guys the holiday off. They deserve time with their family and time to indulge in all the activities that they're going to be doing this weekend, and I don't want them to try to jam the games in. Give them some time, whether it is Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Let them catch up, and then Monday we'll kind of wrap this bad boy up and put a bow on this week and year. It's going to be pretty damn exciting, not going to lie. I'm ready for 2023, man. Like, it's going to start pretty damn good, hopefully, and it's up to us. That's the thing, and all you listeners as well. Like, whenever I say walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, like, that's not just a little catchphrase at this point. Like, that's a dead serious thing. Like, you determine the type of year you're gonna have. Like, I'm trying to get on the right shit myself here. I'm trying to build a little gym routine to close out the year and go into this next year strong. Onto a nice, I guess, on the right foot. And try to have a good year. But yeah, you guys are responsible for that. So you guys definitely make the right choices and all that good stuff, because 2023 is going to be a good year. No pandemic stuff lingering around. Like, we're finally back in like the actual swing of things. It does truly feel like changes are coming. I know everybody's life is different. What you're doing right now might be the exact same thing that you're doing in 5 months. If that's the case, so be it. There's nothing wrong with that either. Consistency is also a beautiful thing, and that's something that I also enjoy. But I just feel like something in me feels like massive changes are coming, and it's good. Like, not like, changes like we're gonna move or anything like that. It's just changes like, I don't know, just changing our luck. That could be the thing. I just feel like good things are coming. That may be a better word to say. But shout out to all the listeners out there, everybody who takes time out of their week to listen to the SmackDown review. We know that Matt covers a lot of this stuff on the weekend review, so sometimes people might just skip the SmackDown review and go straight to that. If you do that, I hope you step on a Lego. But if you don't, and you actually come by and you tune into the SmackDown review, we definitely appreciate that. Do want to wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas. Have some damn good times with all your family and all that stuff. But John, shout outs, plugs, anything like that?
Well, I mean, definitely, like you said, kind of just want to wrap up the year, I guess you could say. I mean, we got a good week left and everything like that. So, of course, I hope everybody has had a good year. I mean, of course, if you had any ups and downs, always look for the greater days, I guess you could say. But yeah, man, it's just kind of crazy that the year's gone by so fast. And of course, like, me being fully in tune with wrestling, for a full year, I guess you could say, has definitely, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's done anything for me, but it has definitely given me it's become a hobby for me, I guess you could say. Now, of course, I watched this whenever I was a kid, kind of fell off and everything like that.
You're catching up though.
But yeah, time, for me to finally just be able to sit down and kind of take in everything and enjoy it now, rather than just being a kid and just kind of seeing people just beat the heck out of each other and just hurrah type.
You don't appreciate it now. You have a different lens.
Yeah, now, seeing it out of different perspective and everything like that. So yeah, definitely you want to give a shout out to you, man. Thank you for actually bringing me back into wrestling and everything like that. Of course, you tried to get me at the beginning of it, and I kind of just oh man, I'm kind of too old for that type of stuff. That's how I kind of felt about it again, but of course, like the names, after you watch it for a little while, you kind of get attached to people in a way, and that's the good thing about it, because you actually feel like the superstars are putting in they're all to convince the fans that this is actually like real stuff, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's definitely been a good road and everything like that. Like I said, appreciate you. Of course, the football function, check that out. These guys are putting out massive episodes, and it's good stuff to hear and everything like that. But yeah, shout out to, of course, the Patreon members, Discord members. Y'all are doing y'all's thing over there on that side of it. Definitely keeping us in tune with what's going on throughout the week, so that's a plus right there. But yeah, definitely want to close it out like that.
Oh, yeah, man. Damn good job. Damn good job. One more time, want to thank all you guys. Have a damn good weekend. Don't get worked into a shoot like a jabroni mark, dude.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Go Celtics, by the way. They actually have a game on Christmas Day against the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's going to be a little jam-packed day, huh?
Nice challenge. Yeah, jam-packed day. I'm probably going to, because the Falcons play tomorrow. They play on Saturday. Okay. So I'm not going to have to worry about skipping that. I don't know. I think it's 4 o'clock is whenever they play. Oh, please let that be whenever the Rams and Broncos play. No offense if you're a Rams and Broncos fan, but those teams kind of smell like, some rotten eggnog and some green eggs in the hand, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, have a damn good weekend. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams. Have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.